So I'll throw down the gauntlet. I watched Mortal Kombat, the new. Did you guys talk about that already?
Nope, not yet.
No,
Okay.
not on
I'm
air anyway.
I'm not going to say it sucked.
I will.
I don't think it sucked. I think it was not good because I watched the whole thing. They like the special effects were fine and the fighting scenes were fine. And that's it's kind of the bare minimum of what you need for a Mortal Kombat movie. Everything beyond that was dumb. It wasn't like the characters weren't likable really, and they didn't act very well, and it wasn't written very well, and it didn't take advantage of the rich lore of the Mortal Kombat universe. And you know what? If there hadn't been another Mortal Kombat movie in '95, and I'm ignoring all the other Mortal Kombat like cinematic stuff, just the other big movie, the '95 movie. If that movie hadn't existed, I would probably think of this movie better. But that movie, I watched it again today. I watched the old one today, and it's better than the last one. It's better than the new one. Because like the characters at least are charming. The CGI looks ridiculous. It looks like it looks like I could make better effects at this point on my Mac.
Mm-hmm.
But the plot made relative sense. And like the changes they did, the whole when you fight, you unlock your arcana. I heard other people like talking about that. They didn't like that. That's fine. Whatever. If that's what it takes to get magic in your world, I am fine with that change. Whatever. So you're a good enough fighter, you can do magic stuff. That's how I figured it worked anyway. But it was just they released the first 7 minutes of the movie, and that should have just been the movie.
7 minutes long. Yeah.
The Scorpion kind of origin story. You got Scorpion, you got Sub-Zero, and you got Raiden.
Mm-hmm.
That was easily the best part of that film. It was the only part that it was like in a whole other movie from what the rest of it was.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe I don't know how they filmed it. Maybe it was a whole movie, but it like they would have done better if they had done like Lost style, right? Instead of it being this movie, give me 30-minute shows. Give me a Scorpion Sub-Zero show. Give me I don't know, Cabal and Kano episode. Give me a Sonya and Kano episode. Give me, and here's the thing.
Well, there was a Mortal Kombat TV show, and a lot of people don't even know it existed.
Well,
that's successful.
That's what I'm saying. I'm ignoring all of those. That's what I'm saying. Like, if I haven't played a Mortal Kombat game probably in the last 10 years, 10, 15 years. So when, there's the whole thing, Scorpion Sub-Zero, and then cut to the present with Cole, I just assumed that Cole was a new character from one of the games that I had not encountered. No, there's no Cole.
Brand new.
You've got 50 fighters. You got 50 different people with cool origin stories. Why would you make somebody up who's boring? And his family's boring. And his arcana, the chosen one, once he gets it, it's boring. Like you just picked two other people's powers. You just half Jax, half who's the guy with the things?
The things.
The Baraka. You're part Jax, part Baraka.
Yeah, he's got some blades and
he's got the little blade. Yeah. He's got the little arm blades. I'm like, dude, what? No, why?
It was pretty lame, especially when you consider the fact that modern Mortal Kombat games can now allow you to say, okay, we can use any character from any Mortal Kombat game. Okay, this movie is going to star the Terminator and RoboCop.
Freddy Krueger, yeah. John, I think are you using your mic on the headset because I think it's rubbing on your shirt.
Sorry. I'm so animated.
I enjoyed the movie. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a great movie. I think you're right. I think the 95 movie probably was better story wise, but I did have fun watching this movie. Now, it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. When I saw that first 7 minutes, I thought, man, this movie's going to be great. But nothing after that was as good as that first 7 minutes. But there was just so many moments in there that I thought, like, what's the guy with the big hat? Not Ray.
Kung Lao.
Yeah, when he enters the movie, he just like jumps out of a hole and he's like, "I'm here," and yeah, when some of the fatalities.
They were in the movie. It was great.
Yeah, they used a lot of fatalities from the game in the movie, like Liu Kang's fatality where he like prays and this big fire dragon comes up and stuff. And then the when he saws the girl in half, he turns
into a fatality in the game.
And I was like, here's a character that's actually remotely interesting, and she's dead in 30 seconds.
I know that things are from the game. That's what I prefaced all of that with the fight scenes and the special effects. All the things you're describing are the fight scenes and the special effects.
So there's one thing that happened that if I was critiquing this movie as in I didn't like this movie, it would be one of the things that I would make fun of. But it's a stupid thing that happened, and I loved it because Scorpion comes back from hell, right? This guy that plays Scorpion, for one thing, he's like 60 years old, and he speaks Chinese.
He's Japanese, actually.
Okay, he speaks Japanese.
It was
Bihan who was Chinese.
Bihan was speaking Chinese.
Okay, well, he speaks Japanese. Except for when he says, get over here.
Well, yeah.
That's English.
Sure. Because the reason for that is because this film decided, as it was deciding what it was going to be, and they were writing it, and they're putting together the shots and the fight scenes, they decided at some point in the process, all right, we're going to reference the games by having people say flawless victory. We're going to have them say fatality. We're going to have them use keywords and phrases from the games, and we're going to have them do particular moves from the games, but
that we will insert randomly into the dialogue.
Right, we're just going to shove it in there. Whereas in 95, they found a way to make it at least somewhat organic to the film. In this one, no, we're just going to say some shit.
Again, I watched the old one. That Scorpion Johnny Cage fight is at least as good as, if not better. Even with the cheesy special effects, is a better fight.
Yeah, and I was actually
90% of the fights in this.
Yeah, film. when my brother and I were watching it because we saw it at the theater, we were like waiting for Johnny Cage to show up and say, "Those were $500 glasses, you asshole."
All right, here's the deal. I never played the game. I tried, and it was way too complicated because I suck at video games, and so I never played Mortal Kombat. When the original movie came out, I saw it. Probably because like my girlfriend wanted to see it or something, or like my group of friends. I wasn't expecting to like it, and I loved it. Okay, so I'm not coming at this going, I want to hate this movie. I was excited.
Same.
And my wife and I watched like the first 30 minutes last night because we like had some time. We're like, oh, let's watch it. And then the kids came home and was like, all right, shit. And all I got out of this movie was 1, we can say fuck.
Yeah, they did.
2, we can be really gory. And 3, the editor was on crack and meth and I don't know what else, but the editor needs to be taken out and beaten senseless and never allowed to work again.
To be more specific with what the editor did wrong, bro.
Are you saying bad editor is a beating?
Keep in mind, you're saying this immediately after we just watched a film directed by Ed Wood. So
yes, I know you have inflicted so much pain on me in the last 24 hours, Sean.
Yeah. Well, okay. As far as the gore, that's pretty accurate for the especially the most recent games with a lot of the fatalities that are in them now. Like that specific one that Kung Lao does to that wing chick is in the latest game. That's like,
that's fine. That wasn't really my problem. My problem was that my biggest problem with this movie was that the fight choreography was terrible. There was no energy in it. There was no, I didn't feel like anyone gave a damn about what they were doing. A couple of days ago, my daughter was watching some Jackie Chan kids spy movie. I don't remember what the hell it was called. But 75-year-old Jackie Chan was putting more effort into his fight scenes in that movie than anyone in this crap fest was. And it's kind of like when, you do a Robin Hood movie and your Robin Hood is the weak link. If you're doing a Mortal Kombat movie and the fight choreography is weak as hell, you've totally missed the point of the movie you're trying to make.
I will say that if you're watching a movie based on a video game, you're probably not going to be getting a great movie because there's not very many of them out there that are good.
I wasn't expecting good. I was just expecting
entertaining.
Exciting.
Yeah,
and the fights were so weak, and it was and the editing was just so random. It was literally almost as bad as Plan 9.
It's funny. Sorry, John, but there's actually a web series of Mortal Kombat that came out a few years ago, and I think it's the same director who did the film, and they're really good, and the fight choreography is really good, and the stories are actually really good.
There's an animated movie that came out a few years ago.
There's an animated TV show that they did a series.
That was all right, but
it was okay. But the web series, there's actually two
seasons of it. It's called Mortal Kombat Legacy is the name of that one with come on, what's his name? Michael Jai White as Jax and Jerry 7 of 9 Ryan as Sonya Blade.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when they put out a couple of like trailers for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he
did like a faux trailer with Jerry Ryan in it. I think she's like friends with the director or something.
She did it as a favor. It was, I think those first couple that seemed like trailers, that was like the first those were, I think, the first couple episodes. They were almost in trailer form.
The one that had they were doing the dossier of like all the like reptile and all that. That was a trailer.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I honestly don't remember anything about it except that you just mentioned it, and I was like, oh yeah, I watched that because I'll watch anything Jerry Ryan's in.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But the particular episode that I remember that is really, really awesome is the one that they did for Raiden, which was, he is a god, right? But he's in a mental institution.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best episode that they did of this. It was great.
And some of these shorts get pretty wild. They get a little bit out there. The first season, each episode, or sometimes it's a 2-part episode, but they'll pick like a character to focus on and tell you a little bit about them, almost like they're building them up so they can bring everyone together later on.
That's the thing that I said they should do.
Exactly. I was getting prepped. I was ready to jump in and say, John, it sounds like you're describing Mortal Kombat Legacy, which is something that they did and they should have done more of. I just didn't get the chance to jump in with it. But yes, what you said definitely made me think of this short series, which I think you can probably find it in a few places online. I know they did take all these episodes and they compiled them onto a Blu-ray, which is available that you can purchase. Mortal Kombat Legacy. Their second season was kind of story driven, and they did have a lot of the characters come together. It wasn't really noteworthy, but the fight choreography was fun. They brought the brutality with a lot of that. In that second season, they recast a part of Johnny Cage from the first season, so now it's Casper Van Dien as Johnny Cage. They brought back Hiroyuki Tagawa.
He came back as
Shang. He reprised his role of Shang Tsung from the first movie. Mark Dacascos is in the film as, I think, Kung Lao.
He's Kung Lao, yeah.
So, and they really did a fine job. Kevin Tancherone, I think is the name. He was heavily involved in a lot of this, and I think they filmed a third season for this that never got released.
That's a shame.
So, too bad for that. But it's the Mortal Kombat movie that we should have gotten.
Right.
Is this web series?
Let me say this. There is one thing about this movie that I was impressed with, and that is that all of the Asian characters were Asian.
Yeah, there's that.
That was good to see. Although it was the dude with the red belt.
Liu Kang.
Yep.
Liu Kang. He was terrible. God damn.
He wasn't good, and he kept flipping his belt around. Like, what are you
The belt
doing?
around. It was awful. But I appreciated the fact that they didn't whitewash this thing, because the only thing I didn't like about the original Mortal Kombat movie was Christopher Lambert playing Raiden. Because it was just like, what the F?
I agree that was a good thing, but I'm not giving you credit for that. You should do that. That's like,
well, yeah, but
like
the
now.
thing
You
is,
have all
now
been chosen to compete in Mortal Kombat.
it shouldn't
Sorry.
be something we notice. And you're absolutely right, but at least they did that part right about this movie.
Mhm.
I mean, if you're looking for good things to
It's a stretch, I grant you.
And actually, I
Yeah.
I will say I liked Kano a whole lot in this new one. He was hilarious.
He was-
you
the most entertaining person, and I didn't like him. Like, I didn't like anybody. That's what I'm saying. Like, your
I didn't care about anyone.
your most interesting character shouldn't be the asshole that
The
you know is
asshole
going to
Yeah.
betray
Australian
everyone
guy.
and
Yeah.
then kill somebody. Like,
If other characters were more interesting, more compelling, and more relatable, then I would have found Kano to be obnoxious and annoying. But
which would have been fine.
since everyone else was so drab, his entertainment factor helped to redeem him a little bit. But I know that if I liked any of the other characters more, then I would have gotten real tired of him a lot faster.
Didn't take me long.
I'm just saying, Sub-Zero froze Scorpion's blood in the air and stabbed him with it. Come on, that was awesome.
Let me ask you. I meant to look this up, but I didn't have time. The dude that played Scorpion, was he the guy that was in Westworld?
Yes,
should.
Westworld. He was in Westworld.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What season?
Most recently, he was
in
the
second season.
He has a recurring
season.
role in the HBO series Westworld from
He was the
2018 to
Shogun.
2020. Yeah.
Okay.
He was the Shogun. Yeah.
He was the gangster that Hawkeye killed in Endgame.
Oh, yep,
Yeah.
that's right. And now that I'm thinking about it, and I'm thinking on his face a little bit more, I'm pretty sure that he was in the Wolverine.
Yes, he was.
Okay, that's right.
Yep.
He's going to be in this Zack Snyder Army of the Dead that's coming out later this month that looks awesome. So look for that.